Welcome to Game Buzz, where we take a look at all of the hottest little newsy tidbits from the past week. And there have been a few newsy tidbits this week, and the big one for us UK citizens is that our high street is just disappearing into a chasm of despair and administration.
Yeah, no more shops for us.
There's no more shops.
Yeah, I'm
None of the
quickly
shops.
running out of reasons to actually go to the high street now. Like, apart from the Weatherspoons, there is nothing there for
Why
me.
would you ever leave the house? There's a massive ball of fire in the sky and no shops.
Yeah, but sometimes I put on my lead line suit and my crash helmet, and I venture outside because I have to eat occasionally, and I'd like to go to the high street. And I like to know that there's something there beyond the CEX, which I would go into if every single one didn't smell of BO and probably skunk.
There is an odor to it.
Yeah, they need to get a Glade plug-in or something. I think they need to splash out.
It's quite commendable that it's kind of, well, I say commendable. It's quite interesting the way they've managed to sort of like capture that aroma and spread it nationwide as well. Because I've been into several CEXs and they all
have that trademark smell, don't
musk.
they? That slight salty tang of BO and cheap weed.
And yeah. So, but yes, HMV and Blockbuster circling the drain.
Ish. Well, one more so than the other. HMV
Blockbuster.
Definitely, yeah. Blockbuster, from the looks of it, they are still profitable. It's just that the owners want to get out as soon as possible because they're like, well, we can't think of any ideas, so let's just go. So yeah, I think Blockbuster will be fine because you can still use gift vouchers with them at the time of recording, unlike HMV. So that's a better sign for them.
Yeah, well, HMV, I mean, they've completely shut down their website. So you can't buy on there. They won't accept gift vouchers, and things are looking pretty grim for them. And I really hope that someone buys them out, or at least someone buys a lot of their stores out, because HMV is a focal point. I don't know about you, but it's always been a focal point on the high street for me. It's somewhere that when you're on the high street, you go to HMV.
Yeah.
You can't not go to HMV. It is impossible to walk past an HMV.
It's because of all those sweet DVDs for $3.
And exactly. You walk in there and it's like, well, I've got £10 and there are these 3 DVDs here, none of which I actually probably will ever watch, but I've still got a pack, like a waist-high stack of £3 DVDs I haven't got around to watching yet. But I'm really gutted, and especially because they're such a massive UK employer as well.
Yeah.
In fact, at the moment, the only company with any job security seems to be Deloitte.
Pretty much.
They
seem to be administrating everything.
They're in demand these days. Seriously, about job security.
Yeah, it's kind of like a walk-in Steam sale for films almost. You'd walk in, you'd impulse buy, always impulse buy. I never went into HMV really sort of looking for a specific thing. You just sort of, but it was a perfect browsing shop, and that's what the high street's for. You wander in while you're doing something else in town that day, and you sort of look around. You realise you have a tenner in your pocket, and you come away with 3 films that you probably just sit in a cupboard.
Almost certainly. And then you get to the checkout, and then they're like, "Do you want to buy this really obscure and shit Christmas film for £1?" And you're like,
"Yes, I do."
Of course.
Yeah, actually, yeah, probably.
What kind of question is that?
I don't want change. If I can round this out to a complete tenner, that's brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they kind of overstretched themselves in recent years with having like a gaming selection that was just not in any way, shape, or form able to compete with anywhere, not even other shops. They weren't necessarily coming out with the best deals, and then they went into hardware for iPad docks and other such stuff. And I think they may have overstretched themselves just a little bit in an effort to try and stay relevant, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in dire straits pretty much throughout the whole of this year as well, because we thought they were going to go into administration pretty much this time last year.
Yeah,
they got bailed out by this sort of package, and it was supposed to be a 3-year thing. They were supposed to have 3 years to get their affairs in order, and it just looks like they haven't been hitting their targets. And it is a bit of a sad state of affairs when you're in, say, the HMV on Oxford Street, and you're walking around, and of course I go on Gamebase in there, and someone comes up to you and goes, "No, you're not allowed to compare prices in here." I don't know. It's like,
well, I just won't bother coming in at all.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
First of all, yeah, they've got a big game selection that's pretty much all at RRP.
Yeah.
Always
at RRP with a little fairly crappy selection of replay stuff that you're not going to buy. You don't really go to HMV for pre-owned.
No.
So yeah, it's a shame, and it's just I'm going to miss them. I'm going to miss them like I miss Woolworths, I think, as that place where you don't know what you want, but you know you want something, and maybe you need a present for someone, or maybe you have a fiver, and where are we going to do that now? Argos.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Argos,
my Christmas Eve shop.
You can't browse in Argos. Well, you can.
Don't get me wrong. Argos is. This is going to sound a bit like a plug, but Argos is one of my favourite shops only because it involves no shopping. Like it's like I get to go out the house and enjoy a nice bit of exercise, but I've already reserved the thing that I'm buying and don't have to do any shopping. And I can sit there and watch it come down the conveyor belt. And anyway, so no, but yeah, it's not really a shop, and you can't go in there, you can't browse. It's not really somewhere you can go in for your impulse buys.
No.
And yeah, it's just the problem is now we're going to have to do this all digitally, or thanks to Netflix, we can just do it
stream
anyway.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it's a case of with HMV. I mean, films and everything else is you can get them digitally, but I just hope that this isn't. I mean, we saw Game come out of it, okay, kind of, and I just hope that they manage to stick in there, because much in the case of Jessup's, which also went under this week, we don't really have anywhere to look at cameras anymore. So if we lose Game, then we pretty much lose our main place to go get hardware, and I prefer to get hardware from a brick and mortar shop than I would from ordering online, just in case something goes wrong. I can go, yeah, this doesn't work anymore, and I can complain at somebody directly.
Yeah. Also, Op Capita are looking over their shoulders a bit because, well, Comet.
Yeah.
That didn't exactly go well. So, the administrators might be administrated, probably by Deloitte. Almost certainly by Deloitte. But the other thing about HMV, because there is a certain sentimentality to it as well. I mean, it was clearly quite poorly run at the top, but it has been a national institution. Like the Shadow Business Secretary came out and said, this has been on our high street for over 90 years. That's a long time. And the dog, his master's voice, that it's a symbol. It's an icon on our high street that's been there for so very long. And they just they didn't take heed of the digital revolution fast enough, and now they're paying the price.
Yeah, and it's such a crying shame, for as much as anything as well, the fact that they are such a massive employer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There are, this is going to be really grim for quite a lot of people, thousands of people, if buyers aren't found, or at least perhaps piecemeal buyers aren't found to take off various stores here and there. There's a few whispers about perhaps a couple of companies circling around, like the sort of holding company that owns HMV Canada and who essentially bought the Canadian part of HMV from HMV last year.
Yeah.
But whether or not they'll take the whole thing or just pick and choose a few stores, we don't know. And, they might just decide to not bother. So it's a crying shame for both them and Blockbuster and Jessup's and Comet.
So the high street, basically.
It just really sucks.
It's really bad.
But who knows? We might get more independent stores pop up as a result.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it's hard for a massive retail chain, it is so much harder for the little independent stores, because they don't have the buying power to secure cheap prices. We complain about the prices in Game at HMV. They're about the cheapest you can do on the high street, because they've got the power to buy in bulk and get suppliers to agree to lower RRPs. Your independent retailers can't do that, and while they can create a more sort of community atmosphere, I mean, times have been tough for them for years.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Especially with supermarkets encroaching on the territory as well.
Yeah, well, I think supermarkets need to be the ones to pick up the slack, really. Supermarkets have probably more buying power than, considering the capital line, they've probably got more buying power than games. So I'd like to see bigger selections in all their shops, like big dedicated. There are a few places that do big, some of the bigger Tesco's and bigger Waitrose and Asda's and stuff do them. But I want to see them proper dedicated sections in there. Maybe little HMV franchises. I don't know.
Sad times for the high street. I'm going to move on to happier news. At least more colourful news. There was a sort of a super secret little email that went out saying there is a webcast happening this week and you need to email us to get your login and shit. And so I did all of that, and there was a presser over the other side of the pond in America by Disney Interactive, who've been working on something big, really big. Disney Infinity. Essentially the Disney answer to Skylanders. But it wasn't just that, was it? It was kind of Disney meets Skylanders meets Minecraft meets Little Big Planet, which is a very exciting kind of creative crucible. So I got very excited about that.
It does look quite fun, yeah.
I'm less excited now that sort of the prices are starting to emerge.
Yeah, it was £50, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty standard though, considering that you're getting some little figures, little collectible figures that aren't posable. That sucks. I mean, I'm sorry, but the one thing I don't like about Skylanders is that you can't really play with the toys hugely that much. I want to play with them a bit more. But apart from that, I think that's fairly well priced, being that you're getting a game and you're getting a bunch of stuff as well, and NFC tech as well.
Yeah, I think really the big draw, apart from the fact that it's Disney and they've got a whole range of really fantastic IPs,
like Marvel and Star Wars now,
which are on the table and are being discussed.
If we can get Darth Vader and Deadpool into the same game, if we can have our Darth Vader figurine and put him into the Marvel universe and have him fight Galactus or something.
Thing is, with a toy box, you'd be able to have like Darth Vader and Deadpool in Pirates of the Caribbean.
You certainly would.
Just with Barbossa.
Yeah, definitely would. And like Winnie the Pooh probably as well.
And Winnie the Pooh just having a massive karting race on the sea. Like that's the sort of thing that's going to be possible. That's allegedly going to be possible with Disney Infinity, and that's really exciting. The entire concept of the toy box and unlocking stuff through the play sets that you can then feed back into content creation. User generate. We love user generated content. It's
I'm intrigued to know what the the parameters are, because they've said that you'll be able to create your own little worlds and then upload them so that other players can play them. But I'd like to know whether it's just a case of you just build this little playground and then people can just jump around and mess about in it, or whether you can set down gameplay parameters like you can in Little Big Planet and say have a race area or have a platform section thing with scripted things that blow up in your face and things like that. I'd be interested to know whether that's going to be in or not, because I've not seen that. Or have I
would assume it's going to be a little less deep than that, at least starting out. I guess they're going to probably want to put the emphasis on ease of use and sort of accessibility. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole is going to go at launch.
Yeah, because they've said that you can, when you buy the figures, you'll get access to the levels that those characters are from, but you can't take different characters from different franchises and put them in. So you wouldn't say have Sully roaming around the Pirates of the Caribbean thing in his single player level for the Pirates stuff. If that makes any sense.
The play sets are sort of bespoke experiences for those particular franchises, but then in the toy box you can mix them all together.
Yeah.
You see, though, one of the best things about Skylanders is that you can swap in characters for pretty much every situation, and they've got their own little themed zones.
Yeah.
But they're not limited to specific characters, they're limited to a specific type. So you can get into them if you don't have, a particular Skylander.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a bit like how Lego works with having different characters access different areas sort of thing, kind of.
It's a bit like how DLC works.
Then again, the level design in Skylanders is probably the weakest thing about it.
Yes, that's very true.
And
So
that's where Disney can potentially shine because they have such recognizable IPs. If they manage to do this, they probably won't do it quite on a par with Traveler's Tales, but if they do manage to get sort of franchise in jokes into levels, and I think there's a lot of stuff that could be done with that.
Mm-hmm.
There is. I mean, the big question at the moment is whether Avalanche Software are actually up to it, because Avalanche are all right. I mean, they've been around since way back in the day, like the mid sort of 90s, I think. But I mean, they've done a fair few actually pretty good tie-ins.
They have.
Like Cars 2 was pretty good. Toy Story 3 was pretty good.
Toy Story 3 was really good.
Well, that's what they based Infinity on, wasn't it? That's how they got the job.
But they've never undertaken anything of this scale, and it will be anything of this scale. And it will be interesting to see whether this is the sort of big project that they've been waiting for to really come out of their shell and demonstrate what they can do, or if they're going to come out and say, if they're going to fudge it. So that's I think the big question sort of hanging over them at the moment. Also, I hope I was the only person that accidentally mistook Avalanche Software for Avalanche Studios and suddenly thought that, hang on, which Avalanche? Because are we saying that the guys who made Just Cause 2 are making Disney Infinity? Because that'd be great. That's what I want. But no, Avalanche Software, not Avalanche Studios.
That would be great,
very
though.
Confusing.
Think how awesome the toy box would be if both Avalanches were in on it, like double team Avalanche, and that would be insane.
Yeah, I'd like that. Or in fact,
freefall skydiving.
Yeah, it's all potential at the moment, and it's all going to hinge on A, how good those figures are, B, as you've said, how good the level design is, and that price as well. I mean, I think personally the price is probably fair if the figures are good quality, but we don't have, like, gamers, and we certainly don't have the sort of, spare capital to throw around on new peripherals and novelties anymore, like we did back in the Guitar Hero days.
I think the key will also to be honest, the key will be less the starter kit. I think I agree with you. I think the starter kit's actually pretty fair.
Yeah, I think that's well priced.
It's gonna be the extra figurines, the extra play sets. That's gonna be key. And also something I was chatting to you about just after the event finished. The whether or not it's going to be truly multi-platform in terms of the content creation.
Yeah, because they've said it's going to be across multiple platforms, haven't they? But they haven't mentioned anything about whether different consoles will be able to play with each other. And I'm wondering whether we're going to have a similar situation to how we've had it with Defiance, in that Sony and Microsoft are not going to play ball. And
not just that, we've seen with Little Big Planet 2 and Little Big Planet Vita, because they ended up not opening that. Oh no, it was you couldn't share stuff from the Vita to the PS3. So we might see it sectioned off in terms of sort of like
levels,
consoles, and portable consoles have their own sort of spheres, perhaps. But considering that it's releasing incredibly close to what plenty of sources are saying is going to be the end of this generation and the start of the next, you'd think that sort of future-proofing, that forward-thinking, being able to immediately jump to a new-gen platform, that having the entire database of user-generated content would also help that.
Yeah.
We shall have to see. A couple of other things this week. There was Deep Silver. We should probably talk a little bit, I suppose, about Dead Island.
And that advertising thing that was a bit of a bust.
Deep Silver. Very good. No, Deep Silver have been not exactly covering themselves in glory PR-wise this week. I mean, first of all, they announced that what they really want to do is completely ruin someone's wedding, to turn their wedding into a zombie apocalypse and make people have a UK beach wedding in April. I mean, just that bit is dangerous enough.
That's torturous.
That is bad enough, but they also want to just turn it into this horrible, terrible event full of bad actors covered in blood. But at least they'll send you on a nice honeymoon. So if you're a fan of zombies or if you're a fan of LARPing, and you're getting married, I suppose you could do worse. It might be fun. It'd be a talking point. The wedding video would be awesome. But then they brought out the Zombie Bait Special Edition, or at least they revealed it. And the statue is causing a bit of controversy.
Yeah, it's been I sort of looked at it because someone retweeted a link, and there were a few journalists going a little bit potty over it. And I sort of looked at it and just went, I just sort of sighed.
Yeah, I know. It's, first of all, it just looks really bad. Like it looks
does.
like I don't really hugely have a problem with what it is. Like, yeah, I think it's about the most exploitative thing that I've ever seen. The most exploitative item, I think, that I've ever seen in my life. But it's in keeping with the theme of the game. It just looks really shit.
Really shit.
Where would you put it? Why would you put it?
Why would you put it?
Why would you buy it? Why? What would it go with? What does it show? Like, I mean, Dead Island, actually, torsos aren't my abiding memory of Dead Island. My abiding memory of Dead Island is all the awesome repairable and slightly upgradable weapons that I made throughout the campaign, or you know, that I ended up spending ridiculous amounts of money on from people who should be giving it for free because their survival hinges on it. But you know, that's Dead Island. And yeah, it's made me even less excited for Riptide now, basically.
I like that on the actual thing, like they knew exactly what they were doing as well. Like just in case you're not sure what your reaction to this torso should be, there's a little warning sign next to it that says includes content that may cause offence. Like they were going like it was a deliberate move to try and provoke a reaction, which of course it did. And then of course they released their carefully prepared statement of apology the next day.
It was very carefully prepared.
So carefully prepared.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry that we're so edgy and cool. I'm so sorry that we're just so bad. We're just so isn't it? Aren't we so evil? Yeah. Oh, we're sorry. We won't do that again. Also, buy it.
So this is the thing. Like I saw it and I was there going, well, I wasn't really that interested in Riptide in the first place, but I wouldn't buy this even if I really did want to buy Dead Island Riptide.
Yeah, I'm looking at that thing now. There is no situation where that could possibly even really be a conversation piece.
If you never wanted to ever have sex,
the conversation that it will start is not a conversation you really want to start. You're like, someone will come in and go, "Oh, I see you're into I see you have a mutilated torso there," and you'll say, "Yep," and they'll say, "Why?"
Yeah, and you paid money for this?
Yeah. So why? And you'll say, "Well, it's because I'm just so edgy." But what the thing is, the clever thing they've done is that this is all, as you said, carefully prepared, because what they've done is they've said this is going to release in very limited numbers. This is very limited, very, very limited edition thing. And then said, "Oh no, it's so bad. Oh gosh, we won't do anything like this again." And now it's going to fly off the shelves. Because it's it's in demand. It's a thing. It's like
Really?
something that you can't have. Something that you shouldn't have.
Okay then, I won't.
Yep.
I like how one of the commenters has alleged that it might be a novelty fleshlight.
Oh, come on. No,
Gross.
why? Who did that?
Better than life.
Seriously, ETL, come on. That's seriously.
But the kind of thing is, the thing is, you can kind of see where he's coming from, because it is.
You can?
No, but it is the sort of thing. It is the sort of thing that sort of giggling teens might buy. I can't imagine things. It's an 18 rated game.
Yeah, it's an 18 rated
actually
game.
imagine anyone over the age of 18 actually buying it.
Mummy, can you buy me the Dead Island Riptide Zombie Bait Edition? Why, yes, Timmy, you've been a good boy this month. Let me just... Oh my God, Timmy! What's wrong with you, Timmy? Why can't I have a normal child without problems? Tim. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're. I don't know what they're doing with this.
I feel for Timmy. I really do. You've made me believe.
Oh,
that he's
poor
there.
Timmy.
Poor old Timmy is getting some like electroshock therapy.
It's all gone a little bit
bit-
Aronofsky.
Oh, perhaps that's
Got a
what
little
they can
bit
do.
Requiem.
Deep Silver can offer electrotherapy to go with the purchase of every Zombie Bait edition. Maybe.
I think
We're
just
sorry, but so edgy
a
that we need to pull
refund
you
is
the
the one
electricity.
thing. Yeah, a refund is the one thing they need to give away because it is literally the worst collector's edition I've probably ever seen. I don't care about its content. I don't care about any potential offense. It just looks terrible.
Thing is, it's not something. It's not really something you can get angry over. It's just really kind of. It's a bit disappointing.
It is.
To be honest. It's just like, oh, really.
Yeah, it's no enormous, amazing songbird, is it?
No.
And more to the point as well, I mean, am I the only one who actually would like to see collector's editions coming with more practical things?
Yes.
Well, I think that I thought that the GT5 Ridiculous Special Edition was actually quite good because it came with like a really nice leather wallet.
Mm.
That's a cool thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always love the like Halo ones as well because they always come with loads and loads of just sort of extra material. If you're a fan of the lore, it's
Yeah, I think the extra
and
material.
Master Chief helmet.
Yeah, because like you're getting a bit of DLC and a little bit of artwork, but you're not hugely expanding. You're not getting anything that hugely expands the universe for you, and you can really sink your teeth into. Then again, I don't know if that Riptide thing is perhaps on a par with the Halo 3 Collector's Edition. You know, that one that has a big fat Master Chief helmet.
That was badass.
That was bad. And I know because I've got one.
It's only bad because you couldn't put it on your head.
Yeah, I know. If I'd been able to fit it on my head, it would have been great. At the moment, I'm literally using it as storage for my copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Like a little dragoon nest.
Yeah, it is. It's like, who better to protect it than Master Chief? I mean, he is like, he's pretty awesome. Like, I trust him to look after my old Saturn game.
He's pretty cool.
He is. And I don't think I can put it into Dead Island Riptide's torso.
And well, no.
And
you put the Master Chief's head on top of the torso.
Flashlight rumors are true.
Yeah.
But you really wouldn't want to.
No.
Yeah.
No, Timmy. No, Timmy. Bad Timmy. Sit down, Timmy.
Oh dear. Right. Quick. Just moving on to a couple of small things, just to round off with. What do we think, really quickly, about the potential rumored $400 mark for next gen hardware?
Seems quite cheap if the next PS3 comes out at that price. Seems very cheap.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the launch day PS3.
Yeah.
And if the specs,
like certain houses are cheaper than the launch day PS3.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Pretty much, but yeah, it sounds all right. It sounds good. I think that'd be worthwhile.
If
I mean,
really
obviously you've got to think about games, though, haven't you? But yeah,
you do. But if they're really packing, more than 8 gigs of RAM, powerful, decent processors, really nice, juicy AMD graphics cards, that's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're gonna, depending on the specs, I mean, that could actually be good value, apart from the functionality you'll lose compared to a PC, because it's not a PC.
I would love to see it arrive over here sub £300, like $299.
Good one.
Great.
that would be nice. Yeah,
would be nice. I think. Yeah, it's yeah.
We'll get 50 off that total, I think.
I don't think that'll happen.
No. 350 probably.
Yeah, maybe 350. I mean, if the next PS3 comes out at under 500 quid, that's basically a bargain.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But we'll have to see. Yep.
Actually, yeah. Speaking about next gen, you can now see a Wii U advert in the UK. Well, actually, no, you can't.
Well, this advert's been around for a while, but it hasn't been. It's been really hard to find. As we said last week, Nintendo of Europe is either incompetent or they literally don't care about selling their products. So it's one of the two. Like, neither is ideal, frankly. The advertising for the Wii U has been terrible. It's been disingenuous. It's actually been properly disingenuous now, because an advert's been taken off the air because of a very, very pedantic complaint. They don't really.
That's basically what it was.
They don't show off the really exciting features of the console to advantage, such as Miiverse, because it can't be shown off in adverts. And yeah, all of the ads we've seen have been stunningly awful, have represented the wrong and least exciting bits of games like Zombie U, and that's when we've been able to find them, which is freaking never. So yeah, the Wii U advertising has been awful, and if you're wondering why there aren't any Wii U exclusives in the whole top 40 UK charts, that's probably one of the reasons why. Like, there are still people who don't even know it's a thing at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about hardcore gamers. I'm talking about, there are people in the general public who don't really know about it still, or what it is, or what it does, because Nintendo haven't told us.
No, and I think they kind of missed a trick in that video, not showing some people kind of actually playing and enjoying it. Because that was the whole thing. The whole thing about the Wii. The crucial thing about the Wii advertising was that Ant and Dec went round the country, and you saw people just playing it and having the best time, and you thought, I want to play it and have the best time. Yes.
There's none of that. Spinny Spin Guy's having fun.
Spinny Spin Guy sounds mental.
Spin. Ridiculous. I mean, the thing is, like, we've said before that for me, I don't necessarily want to get a Wii U yet because I'm waiting for more stuff to come out. But now I don't want to buy one at all because I feel like I'd be funding Nintendo's next horrible advert, and I don't want to do that. So
you don't want to give their marketing department the satisfaction.
No, and basically, Nintendo of Europe just needs to just step things up over here. They did a great job with the Wii U press conference. Nintendo Direct presentation, that was great, but we don't get to the full upscaling of original Wii products. We can't buy 18 rated games on the eShop after 10 o'clock because the Germans don't want us to. There are all sorts of other things. We're not getting TV in for quite some time, and we don't know when we're getting it, even though the icon is still on our screens. We're getting the worst adverts, and we're being given no reason to buy it, and we're being stonewalled at every turn. And basically, Nintendo of Europe needs to step it up, because just not doing anything and relying on the fact that you are Nintendo to sell consoles isn't going to cut it this gen. No. And it's a shame because I like the Wii U. I think it's really cool. I just need Nintendo of Europe to drop their game.
Better.
Just market the damn thing.
I think is that the Dealsbone top tip of this week? Like, the moral tip we can take away from this: market better.
Yes, just generally market better. Deep Silver, market better. Nintendo Europe, market better.
HMV, market better.
HMV, problem is the HMV marketing is amazing. That dog, the gramophone.
But what's it done lately?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
What have you done lately, Doc?
Yeah. Nothing. So market better.
Poor fella.
I think
appear in some memes, and then we'll respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Maybe.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. But do tune in tomorrow, where we'll be having a very mature discussion about mature themes and sex and violence and sexy violence and violence. We can't promise that. But it will be very good. But very good. So do tune in.
Okay.
And we'll see you for next.
Timmy, you're not allowed to listen to
Timmy.
None for
Timmy.
you.
None for you, Timmy.
Timmy's mum, if you're listening, don't let him tune in tomorrow. It'll give him ideas. We don't want to give him ideas. No.
Anyway, on that note, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Timmy.